guys. Okay, so next activity that I have planned for you guys actually came from the fact that I had a whole bunch of extra stamp pads at Moss. So if you are at Moss, I did send these home last week for the lower grades, and they have inspired a project, even though they just went home with the lower grades. It's a project that pretty much anyone can do. We talked about Ed Emberley, and he's a famous children's author and illustrator, and he is really well known because he makes really fun and pretty simple characters, and just develops stories out of those. And he also teaches, he makes a lot of books that teach kids how to draw. So he's a fun one to look up online, and I actually on the resources page have a link to some of his stuff, so you can look there if you want to look at more examples of his work. And there's a little video that introduces him, and he seems like a pretty fun guy. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna have to change my website to Art on the Floor, because I have just really been enjoying doing everything on the floor of my living room since we've started doing art from home. So what I have here is I actually went around my house and I collected all the different art things I could find, because I don't really know what you guys have at home, but you can do this project with anything. If you just have a pencil, if you just have a pen, it doesn't really, you can be as creative as you want. So I have a few different examples. So I have a stamp pad. You can use a stamp pad to do different fingerprints and thumbprints, and like, if you use different fingers, you're going to have different sizes of prints that you're going to make. So that's one option. You can play with that. I found some watercolors. So if you have watercolors, that's another thing you can do. I actually remember I did this one day with some students at Moss, where we just painted different colored circles and then we turned them all into characters. So maybe I'm going to paint like a pink square, and I'm going to paint, how about a yellow triangle just for starters? And you guys will see where I'm going with this. I have Sharpies that I found. So maybe I'll do like a Sharpie squiggle. Kind of looks like cotton candy. What else do I have? I have a pencil. I'm going to take this pencil and I'm going to do a circle. Like that. And I also have a red pen. And what do I not have yet? I don't have a square. Oops, this is a rectangle. Maybe I'll have a rectangle and a square. Let's see if I can pull off a square. That's a little bit better. Okay. So I have all of these different shapes. I'm going to turn each one of these shapes into a character. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to use the Sharpie. And I'm going to start with this little guy. And I'm just going to give him a face and a nose and a smile and feet and arms. And if I give him a cowboy hat, that's going to turn him into a cowboy character. Okay. This little guy right here, I put those little, those smaller prints with my pinky. So maybe I'll play with that, and those will be, how about some ears? So I'm going to outline those again. And I'm going to turn this into a dog. However, those whiskers kind of made it look more like a bunny. So maybe it's actually a bunny. Let's see, I'm going to give it a little cottontail. Okay. Let's see, with this square, maybe I turn this square into someone. Uh-oh, my watercolors aren't dry yet. So that's going to be something to work with. And I'm going to give her high heels. So you guys can kind of keep going and playing with all the different ways you can draw people, thinking about the kind of things that a character would like to do is a good way to decorate them. And it also communicates to people
what kind of person your character is. So I want you to just try to come up with as many different characters as you can. So like maybe this is gonna be my little cotton candy person. I could make like smaller shapes and have them be like someone's pet cat or someone's pet dog. There's no shortage of characters that you can come up with, and you can also look at some of those Ed Emberley examples if you want to get some ideas. And then what you can do is, if you want to, you could make like a story about your people, and then you can kind of use some extra pages and develop them into a storybook and share that with us. Okay, you guys, it was easier for me to turn off the camera for a little bit until I finished, but so this is kind of what I came up with. And what's so fun about this art project is that it's almost impossible not to think of all these different things to create with your people as you try to make them all different. So like my little cotton candy guy is a soccer player, and then because I had a cowboy who I've now made the sheriff, because see, that little star means that he's the sheriff, I realized he needed a horse, and so I turned my triangle into a horse, and then I gave it some spots, but now it's like a Swiss cheese horse. I decided to make my rectangle and my square siblings, and so he's the younger brother, and he's doing a magic trick, and she doesn't really believe his magic trick, but I think she's just jealous because she can't figure out the magic trick. And then right here I have Saturn, and I drew his hands up in the air. Now it looks like he's hula hooping. So maybe I could write a story about how Saturn is actually the best hula hooper in the solar system, and that's why he has rings. So just start with this, you guys, and my goal for you, I want you to try to come up with, let's say, 15 different characters. See if you can turn 15 different little shapes or colors or squiggles into a character. And if you do that, you can take a picture of it and send it to me. And if you want to even turn it into like a little cartoon story, I would love to see that. So take a picture of that and send it to me. Hope you guys are having fun.